big tech story today is in the telecom space. Bloomberg has learned Sprint Nextel is in talks to buy T-Mobile from Deutsche Telekom. A combined company would control 26% of the U.S. wireless market, but still behind AT&T and Verizon. No deal is yet done, but Sprint's stock jumped on the news. For more, we're joined by Todd Rethemeier of Hudson Square Research. He's one of the most accurate analysts when it comes to telecom companies. That makes him, as we call them here, a Bloomberg best. Welcome to InBusiness, Todd. Why would Sprint want T-Mobile?
Well, thanks, Margaret. There's a lot of reasons that this deal makes some sense. I mean, the most important one probably is increased scale. You know, the telecom industry is largely a fixed cost business, and more customers you have, the better margins you can expect to get in the future. It's really not that different from what Deutsche Telekom did in the UK a little over a year ago. They were faced with a similar situation. They were a third or fourth place player in that market, kind of lagging. And they looked at the business, decided the best thing to do was to merge it with the other lagging operator, and they became, the biggest operator in the UK. And it's still early, but they are on the way to improving their margins as they benefit from that increased scale. We think the same thing can happen here in the U.S.
Is scale enough? I mean, you're merging the third and fourth largest wireless providers in this country, but they don't have some of the equipment that accounts for a good part of the attraction to AT&T and Verizon.
Yeah, that's certainly, they even with a merger, they both individually, the companies still have work to do to try to catch up to AT&T and Verizon, and combined they would still have work to do. And in case of T-Mobile specifically, another big advantage for them is that they currently don't have enough spectrum licenses to build a 4G network. Whereas if they were to combine with Sprint, it would give them the spectrum licenses they need, as well as build one network instead of building two competing 4G networks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what does this do for your forecast on Sprint shares? I mean, we're seeing this jump nearly 4% today's session. That last?
I think Sprint is Sprint is my top pick in the telecom space right now, and I think that this was always part of our thesis that a deal like this probably would happen at some point. It's maybe happening 6 months or 12 months earlier than I expected, but this was part of what we thought would happen anyway. It just makes sense, for these two companies to get together to try to compete with AT&T. We really don't need four big national wireless companies in this country. It just doesn't make a lot of sense.
Well, according to our reporters here, including Jeff McCracken, T-Mobile's also looking at buying spectrum from Clearwire Corp, and we also are looking at Sprint in talks with LightSquared. I mean, how many more deals are going to be brokered here?
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways that this could play out. I don't have any direct knowledge of what talks are going on, but I would assume that T-Mobile is looking at all the options that they have right now, including a potential deal with Clearwire, potential deal with Sprint, potential deal with LightSquared, with everyone. I would assume that they're looking at all of their options.
All right. Thank you very much, Todd, for giving us your read. Once again, a Bloomberg best.